Hello, everybody, and welcome back to His and Hers podcast. This is episode 5, and it is just us two today. We are going to have a little chat about the last episode and then move on to a couple of Q&As that we have had. Hey, how is everybody? How are you, Rob?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Nice intro. It makes a change,
First intro is my turn.
Yeah.
How did I do?
Yeah, fantastic. It's only 15th take, but
That's a lie. That is a lie. So obviously we had Mark Coles on the podcast last week, and that was a really cool episode or interview, I suppose, whatever you want to call it. But I really enjoyed it. Obviously, you know Mark better than I know him. So from that's the first time I've met him, and yeah, felt like I learned a lot about kind of what he does, who he is, and what he's doing in the mentoring sphere, which is obviously good work.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark's a really good guy as well. He's been in the industry a long time, done everything that coaches want to do. He's built up online client bases. Initially, actually before that was a PT. There's a very successful PT, bodybuilder himself, owned gyms, gone into the mentoring space, done very, very well in the mentoring space as well. And obviously now, expanded his family as well. Obviously got a little kid now as well, a little boy. Bringing up over here, which is obviously a different experience, and we had a lot of chat off camera about that as well, about why he's out here and that he loves being out here. So it's good to have an insight into the mentoring game as well. It's something that I was helping people with and helping people build up businesses and stuff like that, but it's something I've moved away from, really, to be honest. So Mark's a great guy, and he's someone who's still living the mentoring space as well, and it's great to get a few insights from him about how things are moving and what's happening as well. So
Yeah. I know a few people that have been mentored by him and kind of see how they're doing, and they're doing really well in their businesses. So it's cool to see that.
Yeah, Mark's fantastic. Mark's fantastic. If anybody needs any mentoring, then I will definitely drop him a message. Let's get it clear. One, he's not cheap, and 2, he doesn't take any bullshit either. So if you're somebody who is serious about it and not just sort of dipping their toe in, then he's a great person to go to and a great person to speak to.
But even just following his account, he gives out loads of free content, and his podcast as well. So yeah, just go and check that out. And
yeah, absolutely. We are obviously getting more guests on as well, which will be good. So over the coming weeks we'll have more guests as well. But today we're going to tackle a few questions that came in. So there was 4 questions that came in that really stood out, that we thought, okay, we'll tackle these questions. And one of them is a conversation actually that I've been having with a couple of coaches over the last few days actually as well, over in the UK, very, very good coaches as well. I never tell people's names, but we've had a good couple of conversations with people over the last couple of days, and that is whether the online coaching bubble will burst, is bursting, where are we at with sort of the online coaching game. And again, I've been doing this online for 12 years, 13 years, so I've been seeing all the peaks and troughs. The next question that we were going to look at is, what I would deem maybe over excessive charge rates as well. I think that goes along with the bubble bursting in online coaching as well. Then we're looking at actual mentors themselves. Obviously, Mark was a great guest for us last week, but a couple of people asked us, what do you think the role should be of a mentor? So we'll discuss that as well. And then finally, we're going to discuss things that you can do outside of, just going for food for prep. So everything outside of food related, things you can do on prep. So yeah. So we'll kick straight off with the question is the online coaching bubble bursting? And I'm a little different to other coaches. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm always set at around about 70, 75. I've been up to the highs of 150, and it's just too much, for me personally. And even the people that I still mentor today and still talk to on a level, I'm always at once you get to 50 higher, that is my motto, and that's always been my motto, is 50 and higher. But I do think there is a downturn in the amount of people applying for online coaching, looking for online coaches. I do think it is on the downturn, and that's not just with me personally. This is the other people that I've spoke to in the industry as well. As I said, I set my stall out at 70, 75, and I'm always quite happy with that. So when someone leaves, generally someone takes their space. During the January sort of month, we're now on the 1st of February when we record this podcast. During the January month, I took on, I think, 11 new clients. Just because naturally in December and November there's a little bit of a downfall from the off season, and I have experienced over the years, at the moment, more people are taking their off season into their own hands, which again is absolutely fine if you know how to do it and you know how to progress and you know how to make the progress that you need to make. But I have seen a trend most definitely of more people taking the off season into their own hands and just coming back for prep. This is something that I've seen happen over the years, but it seems more prominent now. I've had a conversation with these guys, and they say the same thing. That their conversion rate on their calls was possibly 1 in 2 conversion rate before, and now it's like 1 in 4. And the general kickback is 2 things: 1, I'm going to try and do it myself, and 2 is actually price.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, these are not heavy charging coaches either.
Yeah. Do you think as well that could just be due to more coaches? Like there's more coaches around as well now. People have got more access to coaches, so it's not necessarily a case of there's less people interested in coaching. It's just that there's actually more people doing it. Yeah,
I think that will be one of the arguments for sure, is that there's more people doing coaching, and let's get it clear. Like there are a tier of top tier coaches, in my opinion. There's an elite crop of coaches, which might consist of maybe 10 coaches. Did you say me? But there's an elite crop of coaches, which are like the top 10 coaches, and in all honesty, like the 50 or 60 below that are still pretty fucking good. Like they're not bad at all. Like and they are charging a little bit less than what the top tier coaches are charging, and again, like they do get results. Like, and
as well, like something that is definitely apparent in like the difference between like you say those like elite coaches and like people who are still really good coaches but slightly lower down on what people consider as the list of people, is those people are like when you're competing, like if you are like 2nd or 3rd place, you're hungry for being better. Like, so I think a lot of the service that people are providing when they are maybe not considered that top 10 is much better than the people who are top 10.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily put a blanket statement out to say that it was better. I would say that the potential to be hungry might mean that you are a little bit more present, like with a client. So you might drop them a message during the week where maybe somebody who's an elite coach doesn't. And the elite coach generally deals with elite athletes, so therefore the adherence level is a lot higher. So it depends what your opinion on what better is, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Like for me, like Loom videos are still like the standard. If it's not a Loom video and someone's checking in twice a week, it's a voice note, it's a detailed voice note. Loom videos for me are anything up to sort of 7 or 8 minutes, like per feedback. And again, I'm somebody who's been doing this for close to 15 years. And that is the standard, the sheet system, everything is on there, everything is present, you can see, you've got historical information and all that good stuff. I do think sometimes that what we would deem maybe the elite coaches are overspilling the mark and saying, right, more clients, and therefore that does drop down their service because they don't have a cap, they don't have a boundary. And I'll be all in honesty, like I've said this before, but I've been there and done that. I've been there and done that and got to 150 clients. And sometimes people are not getting their check-in replies until 6 o'clock in the evening, and then their second reply is not coming till the next day. Yeah, I think I've been there as well. Not on the level of obviously in terms of client numbers as you, but obviously I'm also trying to be a successful athlete as well. So there's like different things that I like, time constraints to my day. And non-negotiables that I have, like sometimes maybe you might miss a training session, but I obviously try not to miss a training session. And I've scaled back my numbers a bit, and it's definitely what I feel I'm offering a much better service now than what absolutely. I was. And I've always said to you not to go above 50. You have obviously gone above 50 before when you've been deep in the off season and stuff like that. But when you're in prep, for you, and this is specifically for you, going above 50 is going to be a detriment in some form, whether that be a performance detriment in your training, whether that be a performance detriment in your coaching, but there will be a detriment as soon as you go over that 50 mark. I'm not saying that 50 is a magic number. Your 50 might be another person's 60, might be another person's 70, it might even be another person's 30. But when you go over that mark and you start to overspill that mark, then there will be, and there has to be, a knock-on effect somewhere, whether that be my training and my progress or the client service that they're receiving. Absolutely. So, but in all honesty, like I say this all the time to people, like you don't need more than 50. Like, if you're charging £200 a month and you've got 50 clients, that's 10 grand a month. You don't need any more money than that. Like, you really, really don't. In all honesty, going above that is greedy. Going above that really is greedy. And it's great that people talk about earning 15 grand a month. It's great that people are talking about earning 20 grand a month. But I've been there and I've done it, and it gives me no more happiness than earning 10 grand a month. There is nothing that I can't do at 10 grand a month that I'm missing out on at 20. There's nothing in the world. I can still drive a nice car at 10 grand a month. I still live in a nice house at 10 grand a month. I still do all the things that I want to do at 10 grand a month. There is no need for someone to start saying, right, well, I'm at 10 grand now, I need to go and earn 20.
Need to be more,
you don't need to
like
go and earn 20.
This is like a case of like almost greed, like, but also like goal setting and having that goal for your business, I get that. But going back to what you were saying in terms of like happiness, I definitely was not any happier. I was like more stressed. My training was shit. And I was like constantly on edge about replying to people in time frames, and it was at a busy period where like I had a lot of people in shows as well, so there was like that added pressure of people are competing as well, and like that urgency to reply to them. So yeah, it's definitely
it's a learning curve. Like it's a learning curve, absolutely. Like
because I was like that. I was like, I want more, like hungry for more, always wanting more, and then I got it and I didn't like it.
No, 100%, absolutely. Like again, I've been in that predicament. You know, my predicament at the time was I needed to have 100 clients because I had bills to pay for the gym, I had to buy all the equipment, I had to do all of this and do all that. And I got to 100 and I was like, this is still quite manageable. Like, I'm not going to push the 125. I pushed the 125, I was like, this is still quite manageable. In my head, it was still quite manageable, but it wasn't. Because when I dropped down and I was like, oh man, people are starting to leave because they're not getting a reply till 7 o'clock in the evening. But obviously that's no longer the case. You know, if you talk to any client that I work with now, they'll tell you, Rob's service unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, no one leaves because of service.
Yeah.
You know, generally speaking, not many people leave anyway. But my client retention rate is very, very high. But if someone does leave, it's more the fact that, okay, well, I'm not going to compete anymore. I don't want to compete anymore. I've moved away from that, or I'm moving on to a different chapter of my life.
Yeah.
Or there's potential financial restraints, or whatever it might be. You know, people will always leave in December because you've got Christmas around the corner. Like January is always a tough month, but I've always, like I said, I signed up 11 people in January alone. And that's it now. Like I'm quite happy with that. Like I'm very picky now at the people that will come on board with me, because I have a very high standard in what I set as well. You know, I don't care if you're the best competitor in the world. You know, I've got again, I will never name the client, but I've got a client with me at the moment who is a very, very, very good athlete, fantastic athlete. However, she misses her check-ins. She doesn't follow the plan. And I openly said to her the other day, you're good and you'll probably win your card at a crap show, but if you go to a very tough show, you ain't going to win your card. You know, you've got all this potential, you've got all this like willingness to do well, but you're not following the plan. You know? And in all honesty, you have no right to win that show either. So,
and there's people there who are also very good, but they've also not missed a beat for however many years leading up to that show. So I'll try and go back to the question, like, will the online coaching bubble Tangent.
burst? Will the online coaching bubble burst? My honest answer is, I do think it will. I think that it will, and I don't think we're a million miles away from it bursting, is my honest opinion. I think there is a good amount of coaches out there who are now very good, not elite, not absolutely 10 out of 10, but they're very, very good. They charge a reasonable amount. I don't think they should put that charge rate up. But also there's so much knowledge and education being put out there these days that people can do things on their own. They absolutely can. Definitely. You know, I have an open forum in a WhatsApp group that has 250 people in, and every week I'm putting 3 or 4 videos in there trying to educate people, because I know I'm not at the peak of my career. I know I'm probably just past that peak in my career where I'm trying to lower my numbers, keep my results incredibly high, which they are, but lower my numbers at the same time. So those clients are then going to go elsewhere. Of course they are. The potential clients are going to go elsewhere. And for me, it's more about sharing my knowledge with people and helping them become better coaches. So I really do think there is a bubble with online coaching. Like the charge rate has just gone up and up and up and up. And you know, we're going to talk about this in a minute. Like people charging £400 a month for coaching. That's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. Like, you know, what we do as coaches, in all honesty, isn't like hours and hours and hours spent looking at a client, going through, like, yes, when you're setting a client up, yes, of course it is. But when that person's checking in, it's very minor changes. You know? Like I said, 7 minutes a week on a voice note, or 7 minutes a week on a Loom video, maybe twice a week, that's 15 minutes a week. Times that by 4, that's an hour a month on a client. An hour a month. I honestly believe nobody has any right to be charging £400 a month.
No, I don't know what your service would be including to be warranting that, to thinking that you can charge that.
I think it's outrageous. I think it's absolutely outrageous.
As well, to like general general people, that's just so unaccessible. Like in terms of just being able to afford that. And that's just your coaching. So when they recommend you supplements, when they want you to, when you're competing as well, it's just.
I'm going to put that into perspective. When I was buying houses in Liverpool, my mortgage on interest only was £97 a month. So 4 mortgages. Yeah, it's only an interest-only mortgage, but 4 mortgages worth of my money then would be going into a coach.
Yeah,
it's outrageous. Like I really do think it's outrageous, and I know the people that are charging that amount of money, and they're not providing coaching services. They're not providing posing services.
Yeah,
they're literally just doing one check in a week, giving you a very short reply to that. And then saying, right, crack on with that.
Yeah.
They're not going above and beyond.
It's not above and beyond with extras that warrant the cost.
Yeah, if someone's paying $250, $275, and they're getting a posing assessment, they're getting access to a gym, they're getting all of these benefits to that, and you can say, well, you know what? That posing analysis every week is probably going to save me £50 a month on a posing lesson. So that $275 now is $225. If, for example, I get a discounted gym rate, can save £25, that's now £200 coaching rate, which I think is far more acceptable and far more feasible. I think £200 really is a good point for coaches to charge if you're not getting anything additional to that. If you're getting additional services to that, i.e. posing assessments, coaches coming to the shows, doing their one-to-one check-ins, whatever it might be.
Form analysis, which
all of that
seems
stuff,
like a basic, doesn't it? But it's not.
No, absolutely. So like in my honest opinion, a coaching bubble, yes, it will burst, and I really don't think we're a million miles away from it really bursting. And I don't know what bursting means. It might mean that coaches have to lower their price. Again, I think that's more than acceptable. Coaches have to lower their price. Coaches might have to lower their numbers and increase their service, better their service. Whether it means coaches take on less clients or whatever it might be. But again, we can't just keep expanding this coaching bubble and charging more and more and more and more and getting more and more clients, lowering quality of service and expecting it to keep growing that way.
Yeah.
Everything has cycles in life, and I don't think we're a million miles away from that coaching bubble starting to downsize a little bit. People starting to think, you know what, like, I'm just not going to pay £300, £400 a month. I'm not even going to pay £200 a month. I think from an off season, I can get the resources that I want. Okay, you might not get 100% of the results you want, but if, for example, money is a factor and I can get 90% of the results with spending 10% of the money, I'm gonna then do that on my own.
Yeah, because for the majority of people, like, it is a hobby, and although, like, you may be like aspiring for pro cards and whatever, that, like, big goals like that, it still is not going to be your job. Like, so it's got, like, the cost of it is definitely a contributing factor for sure.
Well, let's just say you take home 40 grand. You get paid 40 grand a year. That means you'll take home around about £2,200, £2,500 a month, per se. If I'm getting paid £2,500 a month, let's just say I take home £2,500 a month. That's a pretty good wage for somebody who's got a normal job, average living, da-da-da-da-da.
So then rent.
Well, let's take away £1,000 straight off of that for mortgage and council tax. Mortgage, council tax, bills. Let's take off £1,200 because you've got phone bills, internet bills.
Yeah.
So that now leaves me with £1,300 a month. Yep, I've then got to buy my shopping with that. If I've got a family to worry about, that's probably going to cost me £400, £100 a week.
£100 a week,
That means I've now got £900 in my pocket. Quick maths here. £900 now in my pocket. I've got 900 quid in my pocket. I'm probably.
So what, are you going to put half of that on a coach?
Well, not only half of that on a coach. If I put half of that on a coach, that's now, say I'm charging 400. I've now got £500 left. I've now got to pay my gym bill. It's another 50 quid a month, isn't it, for a gym bill? That's 450. If I buy my supplements today, this coach has recommended, that's going to be another couple of hundred quid. I now got 250 quid. I've got to buy my anabolics or whatever it might be.
Blood test.
That might be another £100 a month, whatever it might be. If you're going to
suddenly you're at a negative.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to use all the tools and you're going to use growth hormone and you're going to use insulin, you're going to use anabolics, like growth hormone alone is going to cost you £100, £125 a month.
Yeah.
So you've got all of these things that you need to consider, and now with that, I'm not actually saving any money.
Yeah.
So I'm saving everything that I get is going on this coach and everything
Yeah.
I've got spare. That's without even looking at taking a car into consideration.
So then the question would be like, okay, now it comes to my shows. How do I pay for anything additional? How do I pay for the hotel? How do I pay to travel if I want to go?
That. How do I pay for my car that's just broken down?
Yeah.
I've just got a puncture in my tyre and that's another 60 quid. How do I pay for that?
Yeah.
I don't pay for that.
Yeah.
Is the answer. So again, and that's why I think that, and again, you have to remember that the UK is in a point of recession as well. So there isn't as many affluent people in the UK as what people think, we're in this fake fitness bubble where everyone earns good money, where everyone's doing exciting things and everyone's got, sunshine and rainbows. But the real world outside that isn't like that. And most people are not like that. So we have to understand that this bubble of expanding coaches and expanding incomes and expanding charge rates is got to shrink. It's got to shrink one day. And I really don't think we're a million miles away from that. Yeah. So that's my honest opinion on that. And again, like my honest opinion on people's charge rate is anywhere, like if you're not giving any sort of additional service, like you're not doing any sort of like additional posing, you're not criteria, not that type of additional service. That's what you pay for me. So if for example you're not doing any type of additional, like for example you're not doing posing assessments on one top of that,
show day assessment,
you're not doing show day attendance, you're not doing form analysis on that, like I honestly think 150 to 200 pound a month.
Yeah.
Like, I really do think that. I think yes, if again you start to analyze someone's posing and then you start to help them with their posing and critique their posing and you start to look at their form and assess their form and go through that, then you can go maybe 50 quid above that, maybe 75 pound above that. But I really do think that like 275 point is like the absolute maximum that someone can be charging for twice a week check-ins, contact 24/7, your posing assessments, your everything. Like I really can't see anybody, and I don't care if they've prepped 150 Mr. Olympias, which no one has in the UK. Let's just say this as well in the UK, no one has ever prepped Mr. Olympia from the UK. No one. So let's get that really clear. So no one here and no one is prepping Mr. Olympia. So you're not working with the best in the world to start with.
Yeah.
So even if someone was prepping Mr. Olympia, I still think that is an excessive rate to charge for you to be paying. Absolutely. I really do.
Agreed. So that's the first two then covered, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah,
kind of
really
encompassed one.
Yeah, like they are
linked
sort of,
together.
Yeah, conjoining questions almost.
Yeah.
So the next question was about
mentor.
What is the role of a mentor and what really a role of a mentor should play. So like I do have quite a strong opinion on this as well. And again, it's something that I've always been open and honest about. And like for me at the moment in the fitness industry, mentors are really just people who are good at marketing. Like they tell you, this is what you need to be posting, this is how you need to be sending your DMs, this is the funnels that you need to use, and here's some clickbait that you need to go around. But that's not a mentor for me. That's someone who works on your marketing.
That's marketer, yeah.
Absolutely. Like that's someone who looks at your marketing and says, right, here's how you're going to get more clients. What a mentor, in my opinion, should be doing is saying, right, now you've got those clients, here's how you keep them. Here's how you educate yourself on how to write a diet. Here's how you manipulate changes to keep that person progressing towards their goal. Now they've hit their goal, you need to be looking at, right, how do we keep that client on as a long-term client? That's for me what a mentor should be doing. A mentor should be looking at you as a coach and saying, right, here are your weak points. You're not particularly good at writing a diet. You're not particularly good at writing a training plan. You're not particularly good at giving that person positive feedback. This is what we're going to work on. Not here's how you get 50 more clients through the door.
Yeah, because they'll just be quick clients, and then like you say, if they don't know how to retain them, then they're gone. So you might be getting an influx of however many 50 new clients, but you don't don't have probably the systems or knowledge or whatever it may be to maintain and retain them.
Absolutely. Well, they're just being in and out clients, like you say.
Yeah.
And that 50 clients will come and then they'll go, and then you'll rely on that mentor to do the same thing again.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's where mentors are really playing on coaches' vulnerabilities, is that they're showing you how to get clients through the door, which is great, but they're not showing you them how to actually be a better coach.
Yeah.
Like you should be working with somebody who's teaching you how to be a better coach, because retaining a client is far easier than going out and getting a client.
A new one, yeah.
Because again, when those 50 people come in, 30 of them will leave, you're back down to 20. Okay, oh, mentor, I need your help again to get me some more clients. And you're always going back to that person. I need some more help, I need some more help. Rather than 50 people come in, you're a bloody good coach and only 10 people leave.
Yeah.
Guess what's going to happen to those 40 people? They're going to be recommending their mates. They're going to be saying, Cole, what a great job this coach is. He's really good at writing diets. He's really good at responding. He's really good at this, really good at that. Why don't you go see him? And you don't have to go back and see that mentor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So it's a bit like it's like a cycle of like you then have to go back to the mentor repeatedly, like
100%.
Rather than you've got everything you need to go and do it and not have to have that repeat contact with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I worked with Mark as a mentor, when I was at the end with Mark, sounds like a bad relationship. It was a bad relationship. It was really, really nice. It was me, not him.
He said this.
So when I was working with Mark and when we were coming to the end of our mentoring program, it was very much like, right, Mark, I've got these 3 problems that I would like us to discuss today. And one of them might be a marketing strategy. One of them might be, I really need help with someone's digestion. Another one might be, how should I market these show day videos or whatever it might be. I'd be like, boom, 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 boom. This is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to do. But at the moment, that's not happening. It's solely like the sole thing I see from mentoring is this is how you generate new clients.
Yeah.
Not this is how I help somebody lose 50 pounds over a year with sustainability. Here's how to be a better coach. Here's how to be a better marketer. This is all the things that I want you to digest. That just doesn't happen from what I see at the moment. It's solely like this is marketing.
Yeah, it's definitely seems more so it's like hiring a marketer or hiring somebody to teach you how to market rather than mentoring you with how to be a better coach.
Absolutely.
Because you can improve as you get better as a coach, like naturally, hopefully, more business will come. And obviously you need to know how to market yourself and sell yourself. So that should be part of it, but it should not solely be that.
No, that needs to be done after the fundamentals.
Yeah.
The fundamentals of I am a good coach, not I'm a good marketer, I'm a good coach. I know how to get people in shape. I know how to, if your goal is winning shows, I know how to win shows. If your goal is transformations, I know how to get people in shape for transformations. And then I know how to retain that client after. Because if your issue is retention and your quote unquote mentor is teaching you marketing, that's not solving your problem. Your problem is retention and he's teaching you marketing.
Yeah.
My problem is I'm a shit coach and he's teaching me marketing.
Yeah.
My problem is I don't know how to get around females around their menstrual cycle and he's teaching you marketing. It just doesn't
match
work.
up.
It just doesn't work. You need to identify where your problem is as a coach. And that's always quite hard to do as well. It's always quite hard to analyze yourself, but identify where your problem is as a coach. My problem when I was working with Mark was delegation. I got to these 125, 150 numbers and I wasn't willing to delegate. So Mark was like, right, well, Rob, first of all, you need to get rid of half of these clients and you need to give them somebody else. You need to get in another coach, you need to give them to somebody else. So then obviously I started bringing in coaches and so on and so forth. And that solved my problem. My problem wasn't that I needed a marketing expert. I was good enough at picking up clients. I could have conversations with people, all of that. My problem was delegation. And then Mark taught me then I need to start to delegate my work, bring in other coaches. I can use that as passive income, and literally, I don't know, 2 or 3 years later down the line, the client base was 250 and we had 4 coaches, 5 coaches, whatever it might be, all doing very, very well. But if I would have just picked somebody who was, this person's good at marketing, I wouldn't have solved my problem. I would have had a bigger problem because I would have had 200 clients and been like, what's going on here? I'm sat at my desk literally for 20 hours a day. I'm not enjoying life. I'm not training. I'm not doing the things that I want to do. So for me, like that really is the role of a mentor, is to identify where you need help, whether that be coaching aspect, whether that be retention aspect, whether that be learning more about the female menstrual cycle, whether it be learning more about anabolics, and teaching you in that area, not just teaching you marketing.
So as somebody who might be looking for a mentor, like you should go out and look for somebody who is offering mentoring, but who has done or knows how to do what you are looking to do, like who's somebody who can solve your problem, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think you have to look at somebody who is dedicated as a mentor. I think if somebody's actually really good at what they do, you could reach out to that person and say, I need some help in this area. Can I pay you for some help in that area?
Yeah, and then
and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're then going to be a better coach. Again, it doesn't come like we're in a similar situation here, is that you came to me as a client who wanted to do well at a bikini athlete, and then I said to you, I think you'd be a good coach. But if I was a crap coach in the first place, I then wouldn't have been your mentor.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you've ever paid me for mentoring, but
Yeah.
you will come to me and say, Rob, I need to know this answer. Like
Yeah.
I've got a client who doesn't know this answer.
Yeah.
I need to know this answer, and I'll give you that answer as
Yeah.
best as what I can. But that would never have happened if I wasn't a good coach in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
So it all comes from being a bloody good coach in the first place and learning how to get people into shape, learning how to help people win shows, and then doing the marketing side of things on top of that. Yeah, for sure. So, I think the next topic then is moving on to things like what can you do outside of food-related stuff to, have a better, more enjoyable prep.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, well, I don't want to pigeonhole it, but some people think that, okay, I'm in prep, I can't do anything. Actually, did have this conversation with one of my clients, again, not going to name names or anything, but she was going into her second prep, and she was like, oh, I'm really going to make more of an effort to do more through prep and not just shut myself away. And I was like, yeah, why would you have to? You don't have to. You can, there's so much that you can do. It's just about the people that you might be socializing with or doing whatever activity it is, just them being aware of, obviously in advance, okay, you might be going for a meal, but you might be bringing your own food, or whatever the activity that you want to do with somebody might just be based around something that's not food related. So easy one is just a coffee. I went and saw my friends the other day, just had a coffee. That's easy. We went to the cinema. That's always a good one. Take my meals with me.
The thing is, even if you are going out for food, generally you're not going to socialize with a million different people. You might be socialising with your friends, you might be socialising with your family. Once you've taken your meal with you to those things 2 or 3 times in a row,
people
it becomes
don't
the norm.
care,
It becomes the norm. Yeah, you still might get a passing comment from that auntie that you see once a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But does it really matter?
Yeah.
Does it really matter? Yeah, you're never going to see her again for the rest of the year, so does it really matter?
Yeah.
So, and again, a very, very similar conversation I had with a client today as well, and I said to them, you are not forced to go to a restaurant and eat the restaurant food.
Yeah.
You're not forced to do that. If a restaurant says you can't bring food in, then I'd be openly saying to the group, I'm going to bring my meal in. The restaurant is saying I can't bring my meal in. Can we try and find somewhere else? I want to come out with you. I want to enjoy your time, but I can't eat my food at this restaurant. I have a competition which is 8 weeks away, 10 weeks away. I've been working my butt off to get myself into shape. I'm sure you all understand, obviously, the diet regimen I have to follow. Any chance we can find somewhere else.
Yeah.
What an easy conversation to have. If that person then says, no, we're going to this restaurant, then you say, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm not going. Or I have been and attended a meal, but I've just had a Diet Coke or whatever, a drink. And if you feel happy to do that, then obviously you can do that. But I know sometimes you might not want to do that if you're hungry.
No, for sure. Yeah, no,
luckily,
absolutely.
I'm not really a hungry person.
But what you're doing by having that conversation is opening up the conversation.
Yeah.
You're not going there and saying, right, man, I've got to eat. Everybody thinks I've got to eat. You haven't got to do that. You can go and you can have that meal and you can say, right, well, you know what? I've got my meal with me here, guys. I'm going to have this out my Tupperware. Even if you go into the restaurant, ask for a plate, put it on a plate, whatever you might
I've seen that
do,
before.
Feel a little bit more a part of it. But again, you open up that conversation and say, hey, listen, I've contacted the restaurant. I can bring my own food in. I'll be bringing my own food. You guys enjoy the day. Can't wait to spend a day with you and enjoy your company.
Just so
and
you
it's
know.
more about company than not the food.
100%, yeah.
But again, like you said, there's definitely going to the cinema.
Yep, cinema's a good one.
We saw Aquaman 2.
Yes.
Aquaman
that was
2.
good.
That was quite good. I missed the start, unfortunately. So I was faffing about or something. Getting a meal. I think you're faffing about getting a meal, weren't you?
What are you talking about? We were in Decathlon buying your footballs.
Might have been. And then we had to go back to the car and get Charles food.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's what
Yeah,
so
okay.
don't do that.
And
that was cool though, cool experience. With
the cinema,
with the lay down beds.
We got the luxury cinema, and it has a reclining seat, and you could order. There was a whole menu there, and it was table service essentially.
The guys next to us ordered pizza, burger.
They had
chips.
a big cocktails. I thought, come back here when I'm not in prep.
Yeah, they were all over it.
Crack open my Tupperware and have my meal too.
Yeah. But it did make me feel a bit sleepy. Like, because I had the recliner chair.
Yeah, you're like laying down. Yeah.
Yeah, it made me feel a little bit sleepy. I actually did drift off for a small amount of the film, but only a
This is
small amount.
not great advertisement for the film.
Yeah, no, but I'm always falling asleep during
Yeah.
films, man. Like, I'm always falling asleep during films. Like, you know, my favourite night is to go out for something to eat and then come back and then watch a film that I've watched 10 times and fall asleep to it.
Which is to my dismay.
I think that's such a nice evening. You know, because I've not got to concentrate on a film, like, you know, I concentrate on you. You know, I've not got to concentrate on a film. I'm not thinking about what's happening next. I know what's going to happen next, so I've not got to worry. I can just aimlessly watch the film, and that is absolutely fantastic for me.
Rob's favourite pastime.
Yeah, it is. I've got a few favourites as well. I've got a few
You want
favourites.
to share them?
Shrek was one. Like,
I'm behind with Shrek, so that I'm going to get behind that.
I said to you the other day, I've never spoke to anybody who doesn't like Shrek.
Yeah, if you don't like Shrek, I don't know what's wrong with you. Yeah.
If you don't like Shrek, then I don't like you. Blanket statement. Yeah, like Shrek is one of them. I think Shrek's a great film to watch and fall asleep to. Shrek 2. Shrek 3 now.
The Shrek series.
Shrek 1 and Shrek 2 are great.
After 2, we're not as much of a fan.
Yeah, 3 was okay.
This is episode title review on the Shrek series.
Yeah.
What else? London
Has
Fallen.
London Has Fallen. Yeah.
Good film, but it's just not a bedtime film because there's a lot of action going on. Not for me.
But I know the action that's going on. I can tell you word for word what's going to happen like, at the next scene.
And another one which is very inappropriate is, what is it called? Zero Dark 30. Yeah, which is
it's a film about the capturing of Osama bin Laden.
Which for me, again, not a bedtime film.
There's a bit of torturing going on.
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
That's not what I want.
But
again,
I've seen it so many times. Like, I know exactly what's going to happen at each time.
It's not in my pre-bed routine.
Yeah,
you like that as well. Yeah,
I love that.
Right, back to the question. Tangent.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah, cinema. We've talked about obviously meals where you don't have to go with food.
Like this sounds like an obtuse one, but like going to a football game is actually like something which takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, and I know I go to a lot of football games, and I've invited you before.
Yeah, we went.
You've been to Italy, didn't you?
Yeah.
England, Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
It's good. Yeah, and if, like the thing is, football pitches are not like 5 minutes away from your house. Generally speaking.
It's a bit of a trip.
So it's a proper day. Like you go out and like it is an experience. Like, and it's quite cool to like some people like love football so much. Like they're dressing up and they're doing the chants and
I'm not like I don't mind football. Like I don't hate it, but I'm not a huge fan. But I really enjoyed it. Like it was really cool to see that atmosphere and just to like actually see the pitch and the people, like the players, like in real life. Like I'm not like fangirling them, but it was just weird. I was like, this looks weird. It's not on the screen.
And the thing is, like, where else we was at Wembley, so where else do you get 80,000 people coming together really cool to support 11 people on a pitch?
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it's great. Like again, like football doesn't cost loads and loads of money if you book it in advance.
Yeah,
you probably get 2 tickets for 100 quid. You know, and with a bit of travel as well, might be like, might be I don't know, might be £200 for the whole day, 250 quid for the whole day.
That was cool. And the other things like going off of that on like you can go to like theme parks, things like that. That's probably a really good way of getting your steps in. We were looking at maybe going to Dubai Zoo, so stuff like that.
Zoo's another great one as well. You can do it again, easy way to get your steps in there. And again, it's a day thing. It's a full day thing, you know. And again, on prep, you don't spend a great deal of time with your partner. You know, so these are all things that you can do as a couple as well.
If outside of fitness, like obviously we spend a lot of time. We spend a lot of time that we train together, but doing something that's outside of fitness is nice.
But we don't train together. That's the thing.
No, but I mean we go to the gym.
We go to the gym together. Yeah, but again, that's a privilege. Like a lot of people don't go to the gym with their partner. So again, you've probably got very little time at home with your partner. So you know, if for example you go and do these things like going to the cinema, going to bowling, going to football match,
playing pool, we done that.
Playing pool, we went to
love a bit of that. And let's just tell everybody that I won multiple games.
And you lost multiple as well. But,
no,
forget about that.
Not true.
So you can do all of these things. Like the pool clubs. There will be pool clubs in every town, in every city.
Yeah.
You know, and all you got to Google is pool club.
Pool hall, is that what it's called?
Pool club. I think I was on the road.
Not sure what the official title of that would be.
I don't know,
But there is so much. Like, people just think that they can't do anything because they're in prep, and that is going to make it not very enjoyable, like, for you and for your partner as well. Like, because, like we've already talked about, like, it's nice to spend time together and do things together. And if you think I can't do anything, then your partner,
just write it all off. You just might as well write 16 weeks off.
Yeah.
You might as well write 16 weeks of your life off.
Yeah.
Or most people's
longer.
prep's longer.
Yeah.
Most people's prep's longer. So 20 weeks. You might as well write 20 weekends of your life
And
off.
that's not just yours. Like, if you are with somebody, that's somebody else who's essentially, like, they're probably just going to spend more time with their friends, I suppose. But obviously they want to spend time with you as well.
All that will happen for that other person is they will end up resenting the fact that you're prepping.
Yeah.
Because they've had to shut their life down as well.
Yeah.
Okay, the last 3 or 4 weeks, if you're on your ass, you might not be able to do anything. But again, it doesn't take a great deal of energy to go to the cinema. Maybe you don't go pool or you don't go football in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe this is the last 3 or 4 weeks is cinema time.
Or
other things generally do take a bit more energy. You have to be a little bit more alive. If you're going to walk around the zoo, you have to be a little bit more alive. If you're going to go bowling, or
the
pool.
depths of prep, like when your legs are hurting. I wouldn't want to be walking around a theme park or going around a theme park.
But that's when you go to the cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
Save the cinema for those weeks.
Yeah.
You know, save the cinema.
Or
for those
going
weeks.
to the beach.
Yeah, and again, generally during prep, you're saving money, like, because you're not going out, so you can afford to go to the nicer cinemas, like we did. Like, I think in the UK they're called like All Man or Lazy Man cinemas, something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, they have a couple in the UK, not loads of them, but they're called like All Man cinemas or something like that, where they have like the lazy boy chairs. They have like almost like a sofa, so you're not sitting like away from your partner, you're sitting together. But again, maybe those last few weeks you save the cinema for. But
you save it for then.
In the other bits, you go pool, you go football, you go bowling, you go zoo. Like, these are all things that you can do. Absolutely.
Yeah, even like events and stuff. I've been to that, like, events before and just had like Wine Monster, like nights out and things you can go and do. You got to plan it like kind of. I wouldn't want to go to something really late at night because obviously I want to make sure I'm getting enough sleep. So it would be like a day event or something. And your friends might be drinking and stuff, but they, like, if they know you and understand what you're doing, they're gonna just enjoy spending time with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that really is the key, is moving away from like, I'm going out to eat or I'm going out to drink, to I'm going out to enjoy other people's
socializing.
company. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to enjoy your company.
And
I'm lucky in the fact that some of my friends are involved in bodybuilding, but some are really not. Some are a million miles away from bodybuilding. But we will go out and we'll have and again, I'll have a Diet Coke and I've got no issue with that. So I'm lucky in that respect, but also the fact that if I go out and I took a Tupperware with me, no one would say anything because they've seen that for many, many years. And they've seen, okay, well, this is what Rob does and this is how Rob is and this is Rob's enjoyment. This is what he likes to do. So we now have no issues with that either.
Yes.
No, good. So, another podcast done and dusted. So hopefully you found this one useful. Obviously, we spoke about the bubble of the online coaching. We spoke about the price of online coaching.
Mentoring.
We spoke about what I think, and maybe what Charlotte thinks as well, is what a mentor should be and how they should be. And then also things that you can do during prep as well. So,
which hopefully is quite apt because I suppose a lot of people will be starting prep now, I suppose, for sort of middle of the year.
Middle of the year, beginning of the year shows. End of the year shows still a little bit while away until you have to start prep. But
just don't shut yourself off and think you can't do anything because it's just going to make it miserable.
No, absolutely. And we're not just miserable for you, but miserable for your partner as well. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. You want to see us out, Char? Give us a nice little exit.
Thank you.
That's it. That's what Char
Thanks,
says.
bye.
I'll be giving a nice speech. Thanks ever so much. Charlotte, anything to say?
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, see you later.
All right then. So thanks ever so much.
Thank you ever so much for listening. We are also on YouTube now, so go and check out the YouTube channel so you can obviously see the visuals as well. Why would you not want to do that? And
it's just me, so.
And give us a follow.
Awesome. Thanks ever so much, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.